Hello, intuitive friends, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lexa Tarot, and I am a second degree Reiki practitioner, as well as an intuitive tarot and oracle reader. And if you are interested in learning more about me, my client testimonials, or my credentials, just take a look down below in the description box. All links are down below, as well as in the chat. Now, if you're watching this after the live stream and you'd like to be part of the super chat lives, which are $9.99, this is not a free reading, but I do this type of reading for free in the what your guides want you to know. So if you're interested in joining those free chats and those free lives, then just be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell and all notification alerts. And as soon as I do a live, you will be notified. However, this super chat live will be focusing on spilling some tea. Those of you who are interested in finding out what's going on in regards to fill in the blank. And of course, all my messages here on my channel, whether it be on my content or my lives, are based on entertainment purposes only. So remember, intuitive friends, all the messages are in connection to entertainment purposes only. So that being said, let's jump into important information, okay, that I want to share here with you before any of you who are interested in having a $9.99 or a $10 reading today. I'm going to give you some guidelines. Of course, they are very clearly and explicitly written in the description box as well as in the chat, but we're going to go over it just in case some of you may want a reminder or may not understand exactly how to go about it. All right. So that being said, intuitive friends, this is a $9.99 USD super chat only reading. It is a 10-minute reading. Okay. So I take a look at your what's going on question. Okay. And then give you a 10-minute reading focusing on whatever the theme or the question may be about. Okay. That being said, intuitive friends, this is not a free reading. There are no refunds. There are no follow-up questions. So please make sure. Let me see. Did I pin this? Let's pin that message. So we all see it when we're coming into this reading. This is not a free reading. There are no refunds, no follow-up questions. It is a $9.99 USD reading for 10 minutes. It is a super chat only, and the only one question that I'm going to be channeling, which is open-ended, so we can, you can, work with that question and still get a free reading, is what's possibly going on with. Now, these messages are for entertainment purposes only. You're interested in learning more about me, take a look at my credentials. They're down below in the description box, as well as in the chat, okay? That being said, intuitive friends, examples of questions. Let's go over this, okay, because this is important. Example number one. If you're asking about you and another person, then you're going to ask in the following way. What's possibly going on with me, and only give their initials or only give their first name. It's up to you. You do not write the person's full name, okay? I would have to erase it. So make sure that you only write their first name or their initial only. You could do their first and last name initial, whatever you want, their nickname, I don't care, as long as I, have something there. The next example of a question is what's possibly going on with my, and then you name the specific area of your life that you want to know. If it's career, then you ask what's possibly going on with my career, what's possibly going on with my love life, what's possibly going on with the family argument that happened the other day. I don't know, whatever it is, okay? Another example of writing the question is, let's say you are in a new connection, okay? And you want to know what's possibly going on with my new connection. Now you have a choice here. If you want to write their initials, you can. If you want to just write their first name, you can. And we'll see what unfolds. Okay. Again, these are, if you want to know what's going on with a person that ghosted you or a no contact person, then that's fine. Whatever the person, whoever the person may be, just write. If it's your spouse, write spouse. If it's a new connection, write new connection. If it's a person who ghosted you, write ghosted. If it's a no contact, write a no contact ex. If it's a no contact sibling, a no contact parent, a no contact best friend, whoever it is, just make that specific. And then, of course, I'll give you your reading. Hello, Irene. Thank you so much for your super. Just came across that right now. But just giving you examples there. Intuitive friends, remember that tarot serves as guidance, not fixed predictions. Okay? Your free will and choices, because we all have free will, okay? And guess what? Other people have free will too. So just making that clear. Your free will and your free choices ultimately shape your journey. Okay? Remember, what you choose to do with the insights given for entertainment purposes only is always within your power, your responsibility, and your free will. All right. That being said, the legal disclaimer is there very clearly. However, I do need to review it. And then we're going to jump into Irene's reading. Intuitive friends, just a reminder, the legal disclaimer is there for you to read yourself, but I will also read it for you. The legal disclaimer is as follows. These messages are for entertainment purposes only. Please remember that readings should never replace professional, licensed, medical, financial, therapeutic, legal advice or professional, licensed, medical, financial, therapeutic, legal help. My readings are for entertainment purposes only and are not replacements for getting licensed, professional, medical, financial, therapeutic, legal help or advice. Okay? That being said, intuitive friends, let's jump into the reading for Irene. Irene wrote, what's possibly going on with me and Tivo? He is that Pisces. This is just a connection, no communication. This was just a connection, no communication. Okay, so this is a no contact, no communication type of connection right now at this moment in time. So we're going to proceed with that in mind. Hello, Briz. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Hello. Okay, thank you so much, Ascending Universal Butterfly, for putting up the legal disclaimer. That's always important. However, for this portion, Butterfly, really don't need much because it is a kind of like it is a reading that people pay for. So, the legal disclaimer is great. My credentials are great to post. And of course, just reminding people to like, share, subscribe to the channel. So that would be great. Okay. So, of course, let us welcome Ascending Universal Butterfly, who volunteers as the moderator here on the channel, but also is a member of the Oracle of Revelation here on the channel. Okay, so thank you so much. All right, Irene, let's jump into this reading. Let's find out what's going on in this no contact situation. Okay, this no contact with Tivo. All right. So let us place this over here. All right. What am I being called to do here? Okay, I'm being called to this. All right, let's take a look. What's going on with Irene and Tivo in this no contact connection? What's going on? We're going to spill some tea, intuitive friends. Now, for those of you who are watching, I do this type of reading for free on my channel. So if you want to join me for the free 5-minute mini reading, what your guides want you to know, all you need to do is subscribe to the channel and then turn on your notification bell and all alerts. That's going to notify you or alert you whenever I do a free 5-minute mini reading. This one, however, it's a super chat. But for those of you who are watching, I do this as well for my subscribers and members only. All right, what's going on here between Irene? Wow, something just jumped out. We have jealousy issues, jealousy or obsessive type of energy, okay? Because jealousy is a form of possession and obsessive type of energy. May be affecting or may have affected this connection. Okay, so let's see what else is coming through. Okay, that did a big peekaboo, but I didn't get to see what it was. So, all right, let's see. I'm being called to take 3 cards out. Okay, clearing the air. Give me one more. What's going on with Irene and Tivo? Two-faced. Okay. Let me get more clarity here. Let me get more clarity here for clearing the air. Ooh, okay. So we got 3 coming out. So I'll take 3. All right. So let's talk about what's going on here. All right. What I'm picking up here, first and foremost, we got jealousy issues. Like I said, being possessive or being obsessive over something or someone may have affected the connection. There is, excuse me, one of you in this past connection may have had issues with jealousy, obsessive behavior, or possessiveness. I feel a little bit of control issues here. It may have been kind of like a subtle way of coming through. I'm also getting here that during this no contact, no communication type of energy, there is someone here who just wants to know, did something occur or what occurred in the connection to make it into a separation where there is no communication? Is someone else seeing another person? Is someone else, did someone here make choices because they wanted to be with someone else or see someone else, or someone else was in their energy field? So someone is very, very concerned about that energy and wondering or thinking about that energy. Now, there are some sense of limited beliefs connected to jealousy, obsession, or being possessive. There may have been here a situation, circumstance, or event, okay, that's coming through in regards to this no contact connection, okay, where someone may have had an experience where they were backstabbed, where there was some sort of betrayal, some sort of deception, some sort of secret manipulative situation in the past or recent past. That has scarred someone here to the point that even if someone is told, and again, this is just an example, I'm moving away from this situation or this relationship or this connection because of X, Y, and Z, the person in the back of their mind may still think, oh, the reason is because this the person wants to see other people. Or the reason we're not together is because so-and-so wanted to have a connection with so-and-so. Okay? So there could be old limited beliefs here, very much connected to jealousy, obsession, and being possessive. Now, breaking mental chains says old belief systems can keep you stuck. Be willing to challenge and rewrite them. So, whomever it is, okay, that may be suffering from this shadow needs to change their ways. If it's because they're afraid to be vulnerable or afraid to show their emotions or whatever it is, guess what? They need to work on themselves with that. If it's like I felt like the person or someone here is very much quiet or reclusive or not doing what they need to do in order to show what they need to show. This is a cycle. This is a pattern. Okay. And whatever or whomever this person is needs to, so you see that person is side eyeing there. They're doing a little side eye. They need to work on themselves, whether it's you or the other person. Okay. We're going to keep exploring here. Here we have clearing the air, clearing up misunderstandings through communication, and the story we tell ourselves. Like you just saw, validation confirmation, that just popped out of the deck. Stories we tell ourselves says, are you narrating your life through the lens of limitations or empowerment? I feel that what's going on in this no contact connection is that someone is narrating a story from an angle of limitations, not an angle of, not an angle of empowerment. Because a person who feels empowered, a person who feels confident, is not a person who's going to show jealousy, is not a person who's going to be obsessive, is not a person who's going to, not be open to showing actions, efforts. They're not. They're just going to do it because they're confident. But if there are some sense of self-worth issues, or if there is or are issues here of, feeling inadequate, feeling not comfortable in a person's own skin, then yes, this is the type of story this person within this no contact, someone is feeling here. Now, I've said it before, and I'm saying before because this has come through. Hold on one second. In other parts of your reading, but this is coming through as someone here wanting, having the desire, thinking about, maybe even feeling it, that they want to clear the air. However, okay, in order to clear the air, they need to heal themselves. You see what I'm saying? Because saying I'm sorry is not gonna cut it here. There are some self-worth issues here that need to be taken care of. There are some insecurities here that need to be taken care of, whether it's on your end or in that other person's end. Okay? So if someone wasn't showing what they needed to show, if there was a lack of consistency, if there was this sense of like something isn't moving freely, there are some issues here that someone needs to heal. Okay? So let's take a look here at the next card, the next set of cards, and we're just, of course, going to keep going. This says here, two-faced. Someone is someone is friendly yet deceitful. I mentioned it at the top of the reading. This sense of backstabbing or whatever this is, infidelity, deception, okay, self-worth issues connected to jealousy or whatever this may be, this could be an energy that both of you are dealing with. someone is out to get me. Okay. Someone, so I can't give myself freely because, what if the person backstabs me? Okay. What happens? I don't want to get in on a connection where someone is going to, um, you know, backstab me, betray me. But guess what? This is this person's hang up. This is this person's issue. This is not the other person's issue. This is one person's issue. And if that's the case, this is something that person needs to heal. And they may have the fear of abandonment. They're afraid to be left. They're afraid to be left behind. They're afraid to be backstabbed. Okay? They're afraid of being rejected, even. Because what if some story that needs to be expressed or shared is a story that shows that this person, TiVo or you, was the actual person who caused a situation to happen where there was some sort of backstabbing, betrayal, or deception. It takes two to tango, right? It takes two to work on a relationship. So what could have possibly been going on behind the scenes, either in TiVo's past situation or connection, or in your past situation or connection? Because I don't know who this is on which end, but I know that one of you has a very big hang up here about that energy. Okay? So that hang up here creates this sense of fear, of not being able to talk, because clearing the air is telling me that someone here was tight-lipped about what was going on here, about what either wasn't spoken, wasn't revealed, or wasn't said. And guess what? There is nothing that anyone else can do other than create the safe space. Eventually, the person has to come forward and share if and when they want to. But if they don't want to share, the other person doesn't have to sit and wait forever. Okay? So this is talking about maybe ultimatums were given, maybe it was necessary to give a sense of like either this changes or I'm just going to have to leave the situation. But whatever it is, there's a big fear connected to backstabbing, betrayal, deception, secret, okay? And the fear of either I share my truth about this past connection and it might scare off, for example, you, Irene, or something happened that I took part in something that created an energy where there was deception and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it because the moment I open that Pandora's box, I can't unopen it. So that's the energy that I'm picking up here. But let's continue in this 10-minute in this 10-minute reading. Let's see what else is coming through. Give me more clarity. History. What did I say? I told you. Validation, confirmation. I told you. There is history here. Now this could be only him, only TiVo, or only you, or both of you have a shared history. Perhaps not with each other, but you have elements in your past that are very much connected to similar storylines here. Okay. So this is something that, ooh, something else flipped over. This is something that runs very deep. Okay. And those shadows were the shadows here that created this no contact excommunication type of energy here. Because one of you or both of you have a history of some type of energy that you may have dealt with someone who deceived, okay, cheated, lied, or something, and it's imprinted because it hasn't healed. Now, if you've healed that energy, then of course that's going to show up differently. You're going to be the person that's more open to say, oh, hey, listen, talk to me about X, Y, and Z. But it's not your responsibility, Irene, to baby someone, or you know it's the person's responsibility to say, I'm ready to open up to you. And if it doesn't come willingly, then you have to reconsider, why are you in a connection? Because I'm going to tell you, what shows up in the beginning of the connection is what's going to end up being the occurring pattern within the connection. So if this person had issues with not being able to open up, not being able to talk, not being able to speak, not being able to express, guess what? If that happens in their last connection and it broke down, guess what's going to happen in your connection? It's going to happen in the connection that you have with that person with you. Because unless they heal that, unless they learn, they're not going to be able to correct it. And this may be something that this person needs therapy. You know what I mean? Counseling, some type of like reframing their perspective. But let's see what else came up. You see? Until this person or you, whomever, I feel it's more this person. Look, you see? I'm just going to take those three because that's exactly what I just said. Until that isn't healed, this is not going to pan out the way that you would like for it to pan out. So the onus of the responsibility falls on the person who hasn't done the work and needs to heal. Because there is this energy here of someone having difficulty revealing their inner truths. But here's the thing. This doesn't, you can open the door, but this person has to walk through it. And if they haven't thought about this and said, you know what, maybe I need to reach out to Irene to let her know what I think or why I may have done or why I may have come across, then the person hasn't learned and they haven't healed, honey. You don't have to convince someone to tell you something. A person who comes into a connection ready to level up, ready to work, ready to make something serious and stable, you don't have to convince them. You don't have to, you don't have to convince them. They've already done that work. They're going to tell you, they're going to say, hey, listen, I went through this, and this. I've gone to therapy for this amount of time, or I've had a therapist, a counselor, whatever. Okay. A licensed individual who has helped me through my patterns and history of things that I've had to deal with. And although, I've done the work, there may be times if I shut down, I just may need some time. You see that the conversation is different. Is someone who's going to be able to just say, hey, listen, this is what's going on. This is what happens before. And this is how I healed it. So it's not like how I bounced from one connection to another. That's not healing. This is like I went to therapy by myself, and me and my therapist worked on these issues. And I noticed and I learned that the manner in which I communicate, the manner in which I X, Y, and Z is based on my past connection. And therefore, I've done the work and I'm ready to get into a new connection. And I'm not perfect, but at times, if I regress, I need you to understand that blah, 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 blah. But this only comes from a person who has healed or is working with a licensed therapist or a licensed individual that helps them see the light. Other than that, they're going to continue the pattern that they know. They're going to continue the pattern of jealousy, obsessive, holding back, repressing or suppressing their emotions, not being able to break the pattern or the history of the pattern. As you saw, that just popped out of the deck on its own. Oh, this one I cut, but this one popped out of the deck on its own. And guess what? They're not going to be able to clear the air, because if they come up and approach you, you're going to ask, well, what's different? What therapy did you get? Who was your therapist? What did you do? And only a person who has done the work could clearly explain and share what their intentions are and what the inner truth and vulnerabilities are. If not, it's not going to happen. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't take one person, and it doesn't take one person to convince someone else. Okay? So this person can sit at times and think about feeling heartbroken, or you may sit back and think about the heartbreak. But thinking about the heartbreak is not going to make it better. It's getting down to the nitty-gritty and really working on what needs to be worked on so that things could move in a healthier direction. Okay. Let's see here. This person, Tivo, has to have the same intensity to want to speak to you, has to have a clear, healed type of something that they're working on in order to be able to approach you. You see what I'm saying? If this person hasn't approached you, then they haven't done the work. I mean, I don't like, that's how this is coming across, because this person has a history of this pattern. You're not the first, okay? You're not the first person that this situation or energy has appeared in this person's energy field in regards to connection or relationships. So don't act as if you're a therapist and you have to fix someone. They have to realize they have to fix themselves. Give me more in regards to history and jealousy, yin energy. You need to lean into your calm. You need to lean into your divine feminine energy. And I'll explain why, okay? You don't need to chase. You need to attract. This person, I'm assuming there was a conversation here at some point where there may have been like, you need to step up, you need to do this, you need to do that, and the person didn't do it, okay? If the person didn't do it and you decided to walk away, or this person ran to the hills, however this may have panned out, you lean into your yin energy. Why do you lean into your yin energy? It's because you can't be going on fixing people. You can't be going out there chasing. Because if you're saying to the universe, I want a relationship and a connection where I see X, Y, and Z, whatever your standards are, and the universe tests you with a person like this, and you go start chasing them, you're telling the universe, I just want more people that I need to help, rather than you getting someone who's ready to build with you. You see, the egg, the ovum, doesn't chase the sperm in biology. Let's talk science. Let's talk science. The egg does not chase the sperm. The sperm chases the egg. It comes to the egg. This is just straight up science. This is straight up like, you know what? That's how procreation occurs. The egg doesn't go chasing the sperm because it wants to create and grow and make something. The conditions or and this is symbolic, the conditions in the womb become open to the possibility of the connection between the egg and the sperm to create something. But the sperm moves towards the egg, which is the divine feminine. So this isn't even about gender. It's about how procreation occurs, how growth occurs. So as you stay in your yin energy, you allow this person to figure out what they need to do. They need to lean into their masculine energy. It has nothing to do with gender. They need to do the work in order to grow, so that then they can come towards you and, approach you in a way where it makes sense that you can grow together. But you shouldn't have to, honey, assembly not required. That's what you need to make sure you add to your manifestation. Okay? So let's see here. Listen, I'm not perfect. I've 2020, I was manifesting, and I forgot to add some important elements in that manifestation. Yes, I did. I got everything that I asked for, except the things I should have remembered to also add to that manifestation that I didn't. So there you go. Okay. See? Too much energy is going on here in regards to what abandonment issues are happening here, or this feeling of abandonment. So again, yin energy, you co-create with someone who has done the work and who approaches with a sense of, hey, listen, you know what? With a growth mentality, not a babysitting mentality. Okay? All right, let's see what's coming through for look at that. TikTok. This person could be looking at your social media accounts. You may also be looking at the social media account. And this person may have thought that whatever decisions were made because you wanted to date someone else. And if that person still continues to narrate that ridiculous narration or story, it just further shows that they are very limited in how they're viewing what they need to fix, repair, or expand here. Because if you gave him the blueprint and you said, listen, this is the reason why I'm not going to proceed in the connection, and they still are not listening, that's on them. you know? That's on them. They have a history here. This is why you're getting the yin energy. You don't chase, you attract. And in this situation, it's coming across like you've done your work. You've given the nurturing, the help, the love, the I'm opening myself up, please come, share what you want. You've given the space. The person has found it difficult to do their fair share. So there should be no feeling of guilt here other than just saying, okay, so it didn't work in this connection. I'm going to have to, um, you know, release myself, disengage with this energy, and move towards a connection that is more aligned for me, right? So let's take a look. And TikTok has come out as this person watching you on social media. So there we go. And again, the kind of like what I'm getting here in regards to this no contact, um, I feel here that there may be this kind of like you also watching his or his watching you as far as social media. But, you could only do but so much. Let's get more. And then I just have one more, actually two more decks, and then we're going to be done. Intuitive friends, if you are interested in the what's going on with Super Chat, please feel free to jump in. It is a $9.99 reading. So feel free to jump in and let's see what else is coming through. Yeah. I feel that, and especially is coming in with this first row in regards to yin energy. So I can see that you were very open to having a very deep committed type of relationship with wedding rings. Union. You wanted that soul to soul connection. You even thought for a split second that this finally could be the one. But like I said, there is work to be done on this person's end. And, you know, as they say, the onus falls on that other person to step up and apologize, step up and do the work, step up and, just be transparent. And like I said this at the top of the reading, this person may be watching you on social media because they really want to know, is it that you're dating someone else? What's going on with your life? That's their access to you. Okay? That's their access to you. They can see what's going on in your timeline. So social media gives access to you, especially if they are from the mindset that this connection didn't work out because of someone else, when in reality this connection didn't work out because they didn't do a part of the work that was necessary for it to grow. Okay, so let's see what else is coming through. Wow, you saw that flipped over. What do we have here? Snake. Clever. Another person. Malicious look. Looking over your shoulder. Competition. I told you, this person feels like something didn't work out because it was due to someone else or something else. And that is a person who doesn't take accountability for what happened with them. What took place here? I said it at the top of the reading. Jealousy came through. I told you. TiVo is like, I feel like Irene is like either dating someone, wanting to date someone, and that's why this happened. No, that's not why this happened. It happened because there's a deep-rooted pain and history here that needs to be taken care of and healed before this connection moves any further from his end. Okay, look at that. What does that say? Exactly what I just said, healing heart. Healing heart says healing from heartbreak, freedom from the toxic. So very interesting here because there are two energies that are coming through with healing heart. One of the two here in this reading feels, thank God that I moved away from this connection because it was draining me. Okay, I wasn't feeling that give and take type of energy here. The other person, and I said this, okay, before, is thinking about the heartbreak, thinking about the breakup separation situation here, and still not looking at the fact that there was a lack of transparency, even with themselves. So remember, two-face, it could be external deception, right? Someone not wanting you to see or do something, like know something. But this could be a person who is delusional, for a lack of a better word. They're not looking at the reality of something. They're not being honest with themselves. So they are creating a storyline of boo-hoo-hoo, look what happened to me. I was left. I was abandoned. Right? This was a breakup. Now, if this person left, if they broke up, if they went in another direction, then they're saying to themselves, man, I should not have left. I should have done the work. So but that's what Healing Heart says here. There's a pattern here, a pattern that was draining you in some way, shape, or form. Something that wasn't as it should. And again, it could have even been a toxic type of energy here. Especially, and by the way, people that are like this, people that do this, you know what they do? Instead of going to therapy by themselves, what they do is they jump and go into another connection, and then jump and have another connection, and jump, have another connection, in the hopes that maybe what happens here doesn't show up in another connection. And little do they know that it's not about the other person, it's about themselves. It's about the lack of work or healing or therapy, for that matter, licensed. I got to say that now, moving forward, because there's a lot of therapists and doctors who say they're therapists and doctors and aren't, okay, that are licensed in their craft, who are able to help this person, but this person has to do the work. You see? There you go. Now, let's get the light, the light of this reading. And I say license because there's a lot of people. I mean, there's a big, YouTube situation where people are giving therapy, advice, and counseling and are not therapists, licensed therapists that are not, you know, especially the ones that are, oh, what do you call this? Life coach, life coaching. That was the big trend in 2024 and 2025. Well, that's great that you want to get into life coaching, but what, training from a reputable university degree you have in order to do that, right? So that is super important. And that's what this person needs to kind of open up to. Give me the light here, light messages here for this reading. We have here, you see, look in the no, look what it says: shady deals, dark road, moonlight, moonlighting to get by. This person, just likes to keep things vague, likes to not open the door so that you can see something clearly, doesn't like to talk about their emotions or their past. Or if they do talk about their past, is not everything that you need to know, is what they want you to know, not what you should know. So yes says brilliant idea, clear path, bright future ahead. So this is talking about you clearing this energy from your energy field, you allowing yourself to leave the situation behind and look at this as something that came through your path and something that you also kind of need to learn from. And that is, well, you know what? Next time I'm going to either ask the most important questions first rather than staying in a connection longer than I need to. Okay? Making sure you're asking those right questions so that, things unfold in a different way. Let's take a look. What else is coming through? Give me more light. Fulfilling your desires. Didn't I tell you that you need to start manifesting again? Get up from that couch. Okay? Fulfilling your desires. Being refreshed. Moving. You need to be proactive on new people, new communities, new things, not, dating, speed dating events that you see people in person that are single, telling your friends, your family, your loved ones, hey, I'm open to getting to know someone. If you know anyone who's single, please feel free to let me know. Because the universe has a gift that it wants to give you, but it feels that you're very much wrapped up in this past and in this person that obviously, wasn't ready for the type of leveling up and commitment that was needed in order to have a fulfilling connection. Now, I love when I say in channel messages that I channel the message and then I get the validation confirmation, because I specifically told you that the egg does not chase the sperm. And if you take a look at this box, for all intents purposes, pink, and for those of you who are just gonna, start, getting all bent out of shape, please save your energy, okay? Because we're not talking about gender. But it is safe to say that pink, back in the olden days, okay, I'll say it like that, pink was very much connected to female, okay? I'm not saying that that's the case today, okay? So for those of you who just want something to argue about, you've got the wrong channel. This is not the channel for you. We're high vibrational people, okay? Anyone can wear pink, yes, I'm aware. However, yin energy, which is divine feminine energy that has nothing to do with gender, you got pink here also, which is validation confirmation on you need to pour into you, nurture you, make sure you've healed, make sure that you've learned your lessons, make sure that you're, having the fertile ground to be able to receive the gift from the universe, which is that beautiful pink bow and that beautiful pink ribbon here. So you need to be open to the gift of the universe and the divine. And if I were you, I would go to my energy healing and affirmations playlist, which is completely free, and do the divine counterpart affirmation and the nighttime affirmation regularly. And you need to cut the cord in this situation, because this is telling you there's a gift for you. There's a gift that's going to be more fulfilling. It's going to be very different, but you got to make a move in showing the universe, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to move past this situation here and ready to move in the situation of receiving what serves me. Okay? Let's take a look at your last and final card. And then, of course, intuitive friends, remember, if you are interested in a $9.99 what's going on with type of reading for entertainment purposes only, what's going on with fill in the blank, do not use anyone's full name, or it doesn't have to be a person. It could be very much connected to an area of your life. Then hurry up and get on, because if there isn't anyone else after Irene, I will be closing the readings. Okay? All right, let's take a look at what else is coming through. Your last and final card here. Be grateful. Be grateful of all the experiences that you encounter. Be grateful for this experience, which has made you aware and maybe even helped you redefine your standards and redefine what you are looking for and calling in and attracting in your energy field. Okay? Be grateful says, and it's interesting because being grateful is yin energy. Being grateful is being in a state where you are leaning into your inner peace, mental peace, spiritual peace, energetic peace. You dial down your internal noise, you dial down your external noise, and you are in the state of attitude of gratitude, where you may say, thank you, universe. Thank you, guides. Thank you, creator, for everything that I go through, for your gifts. Even if the gifts are the gift of lessons, even if the gifts are the gifts of, being in more awareness here. Maybe you were manifesting something or someone, but you may have left out some key principles. Now it's time to go back and fine tune that. Okay, so again, take a look at my energy healing and affirmation playlist. It's all free, and there you will see the divine counterpart affirmation. Be grateful says, be thankful to those who assist you. Didn't I say that? Here we go. Be thankful to those who assist you, and even those who are messing up your life. I kid you not, it says that here. They all come for a karmic reason. Everyone that you connect with, especially in just connections in general, but especially in connections that have to do romantic connections, every single person has a reason why you met them and they met you. Okay? This says they all come for a karmic reason. This brings you closer to the divine. Validation, confirmation. Like I said, this experience brings you closer to taking a look at your manifestation list and redo, edit, add more, or whatever, be more clear about the type of individual, standards, and energies you're looking for. But there you go. I can't make this up. That being said, I want to say thank you to you, Irene. Thank you for your love, loyalty, and support. Thank you for your super. I greatly appreciate it. I hope these messages have been insightful. I'll take a look in the chat in a few and see if there are some validations, confirmations. So if you want to wait for that, please do. But those of you who are watching the channel right now at this moment in time, welcome. My name is Lexa Tarot, and I am a second-degree Reiki practitioner as well as an intuitive tarot and oracle reader. For those of you who are here for the first time, I want to welcome you. For those of you who subscribe to the channel while watching this super chat live, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being part of the Lexa Tarot community. For those of you who are who are my subscribers and my members, I want to say thank you for your love, loyalty, and support. Intuitive friends, I do something similar to this reading for free on my channel. If you're interested in that, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell and all notification alerts, because that's going to give you the information or the alert that you need in order for you to come and join. Now, when I do my free readings, I will tell you, honestly and transparently, it is first come, first serve. So that's why it's important for you to do the subscribing of the channel first ahead of time, so that when you get the alert in your notification bell and your notification alert, okay, you hurry up and get on the chat list, okay? So that is how this works. All right, intuitive friends, if you weren't able to participate in this $9.99 reading, that's fine. Just take a look at the June readings that I have on my channel. Okay, take a look at the June readings on the channel. I also have pick a card readings on the channel. Let your intuition be your guide. I also have bonus messages readings that are very much connected to giving more clarity to those monthly readings, as well as the astrological new year, which started in March of 2026. Okay, so be sure to take a look and share my YouTube channel link with like-minded souls. Okay, let's get to 2K. We're close, but let's get closer. Let's get to it. All right. Give me 1 second here, because remember, when I do these readings, I don't know what the questions are going to be specifically about. So I bring all of my decks and I allow my guides to point me to the decks that I need to share, okay, that I need to use in the reading. So everyone's question is a little bit different. All right, so let's see what's going on here in the chat. Oh, Briss, thank you. Monica and Briss, thank you so much for your super chats. Thank you so much. Ascended Universal Butterfly, thank you again for being here. Wow, intuitive friends. Thank you so much. Okay, so Irene, let me see. What did you write here? Hi, Alex again. Irene, he is the one who needs to work. Yeah, he's the one that needs to work on himself. He was betrayed or so. That's what I know. by his ex-wife. You see, validation, confirmation. I told you, because it was all over this reading. Yep. So there you go. He was betrayed by his ex-wife. He has been through a divorce. I'm not surprised. He knows I am still married and that my marriage is not stable. Okay, so there you go. Okay. His issues, I think, stem from his divorce. I won't speak to him because of possible gossip, and I get it because I only want to speak. Okay, well, he has to want to speak to you also, right? Remember, free will is a thing. I myself feel too single for my marriage. I'm trying to get out on my feet with my money so that I can do the exit. Yeah. And it's also here, Irene, if you are already married, okay, I'm just going to throw it out there. It's going to be challenging to find someone who may want to still partake in a connection with you because you may still have some legal, okay, remember I'm saying legal, not emotional, but some legal things pending in order either for you to end your marriage or restore your marriage. You see what I'm saying? So that is also here part of, the reading too. So there could be, multiple things here. There are people here, including myself, where I'm not interested any longer in giving a person the benefit of the doubt if they are still connected in a marriage, even if it's just a legal aspect of it. Why? Because it's emotionally taxing, especially on the person who's single, not married, and doesn't have that situation on their end, right? So, I need to be very honest and clear in that, again, no offense, but there is a part here that you can't be looking for a connection if there's still some type of ties to an old connection here, because it might make the person who's coming in, who's single, a little leery about what the situation may be on your end. Okay. It says, my intentions are good towards him. I knew that because of the yin energy. I'm too transparent, too honest, and that's why I want to speak. Again, it feels like you want to chase. Okay. So that's probably why that yin energy is there. That's hard to do, not to be a fixer, because that's my nature, but I'm trying to hold back and not do a thing. Yeah. I mean, that yin energy is saying that he is watching me online. No, there wasn't another person I was looking at. He never spoke. He didn't see I didn't see reciprocity. Yeah. But again, I'm telling you what it's coming across energetically from his standpoint, okay? Um, it says, I took it as a rejection. It broke my heart. The connection was draining me. I still feel hurt and working through it. Okay. Okay. Redo the manifestation list. Everything resonates. Thank you. And yeah. All right. Awesome. All right. So yeah, also, work on either whatever it's connecting you to. If you are still married, I'm going to tell you that's a hold, an energetic hold. Okay. Um, that's an energetic hold because it makes the other person who may come into your life hesitant about how clear and how open you are in regards to a new beginning. So if I were you, I would take that time to just work on you, work on that situation, not get into a connection until that is cleared so that, things move easier for you in regards to that. All right. So again, free will is a thing. What do I know? But I'm just giving my 2 cents there. Okay. All right. That being said, thank you so much, Irene. Up next, we have Monica. Hello, Monica. Thank you so much. It says, what's the tea with my new podcast, Becoming the Self-Led Woman? All right. Well, let's see what tea we can unleash here energetically for entertainment purposes only, in connection to your Becoming the Self-Led Woman podcast. Okay, so let's see. All right, let's see what's coming through. Thank you so much, Monica. By the way, Briss, you're right after Monica, okay? If someone else wants to participate, make sure that you do, so that you could go right after Briss, because once I finish Monica's reading, I'm going to jump into Briss's reading. Once I finish Briss's reading, if there isn't anyone else, I will um, I will close the session. Okay, my intuitive friends. Irene, thank you so much for your love, loyalty, and support, my dear. Thank you so much for stopping by and for taking part in the super chat. I wish you the very best. You have all the tools there for free if you would like to use them, okay? All right. That being said, intuitive friends, Monica, let's see what's going on here with Monica's becoming. Hold on a second. Becoming the self-led woman. All right, Monica, just a reminder that these messages are for entertainment purposes only. And we have here the person holding the coin. That's a great way to start. Person holding the coin, very much connected to the stability and the security here, maybe even reaping the rewards with time. Pentacles energy is a slow moving energy. So whatever this is, this growth or this reaping the rewards of the growth will happen slowly. I'm also getting here, maybe you've invested a lot of money or invested a lot of resources. Doesn't always have to be money. It could be time as well. You've invested time, energy, money in this to create or to start from scratch in order to provide more stability and security in this. Envy, okay? There may be some times that you may get into your self-sabotaging thoughts or limited beliefs. Envy is this limited belief energy, okay? This could be your shadow self. It's like the devil card in tarot. It's the sense that you are connected or bonded with self-limited beliefs, or maybe fear or concern. Oh my God, I invested so much time, so much money, and something isn't moving. I want it to move. Why isn't it moving? Am I going to reap the rewards? Am I going to get the money back? Am I going to make profit? Or am I going to be able to expand? Every single thing I just said, none of that was optimistic. All of that came from a fear mindset. All that I just said came from an energy of self-sabotaging thoughts or limited beliefs. It's not believing that, I know that I'm going to reap the rewards. I know that whatever I need to tweak, I will tweak. But I know that as long as I'm being patient and consistent, something's going to move. Okay? In some way, shape, or form. I do feel that there is some type of success that's coming. It needs to be built. It needs to be I'm getting something about roots. Okay? Maybe the roots aren't as strong in this yet, but as you continue to move in that direction and get out of your own way, there is a possibility here where you're going to be able to reap what you have sown. Let's see what else is coming through for you. Yeah. Whatever this is, the podcast is coming across as also part of a passion or desire. Okay. I'm getting here this energy in regards to don't doubt what you feel passionately about. Don't doubt or don't allow yourself to lean into your shadow self or your self-doubts when you are in reality moving towards your passion. Because there's this sense of pouring into the passion, whether it's financially, money, whatever, resources, and resources come in tangible ways and intangible ways. So you pouring resource, but then second guessing yourself or self-doubting from time to time. The angel of love says, no, open your heart. Listen to your heart's desires. Okay. Don't fall into this limited belief type of energy. That is why the angel of love is looking at the heart and turning its back on this shadow self. Okay. Validation confirmation in regards to that. It's going to be a labor of love. Okay. I know exactly how it feels because when I started my channel, I had 0 subscribers. I had 0 subscribers and I had to deal with the reality that YouTube's algorithm didn't even know I existed. How about that? In a channel or in a platform where you have people with millions of subscribers, thousands of subscribers. And I was like, well, how is this going to happen? But I never quit. I tweaked, I fixed, I redid things. And there are times where I do shuffle some things around. Okay, if you take a look at my homepage for my channel, I just recently moved it around. Okay, where you see now the monthly readings, then you see the bonus messages, then you see the singles and couples readings, and then you see my posts. You see my Spanish channel again, not channel, but Spanish addition to the channel. So, this is coming across as that beautiful energy of shifting and changing here. All right, give me more in regards to the person holding the coin. Now, for whatever reason, I was hearing roots, okay, with the person holding the coin. Like I said before at the beginning of the reading, I feel that whatever this is in regards to the podcast, the roots might not be as strong. Okay, remember I said that before. And because the roots aren't that strong, it's this energy here of kind of self-doubt that's coming along with it. But let's see what else is coming through here in regards to this. Victory. You see? Victory, adjacent possibilities, and the worlds. If you feel in your heart's desire that this is an avenue that you are very much interested in, and again, I heard the word roots towards the beginning of the reading. So if this is something that hasn't fully formed yet, but you're very passionate about and you're interested about, and you are slowly but surely getting the clarity that you need, then I feel that this reading is telling you, give yourself the shot. Use this as an additional option if you feel invested in wanting to see this grow. Okay? Let's get more clarity here with victory. This is basically telling you what I was channeling at the top of the reading. I told you, I said, I feel it's going to be a possible, reaping of the rewards. It's not going to be something that it's overnight, but It's something that as long as you're deeply invested in and you move away your self-limited beliefs, you gain more clarity in how to make this possible and really look at your options, you're going to be able to be victorious. Now, what's interesting is the bottom cards, I'm getting this energy of man holding the coin, envy, and angel of love. But in the second row, I'm getting the energy moving in this direction, which ends with victory. Okay? So as long as you start clearing you see that dark there? That's your limited beliefs, and start looking at the options that you have so that you can grow stronger roots and you are aligned with your heart's desire. There's a very big possibility that success and victory is on the way. Okay? Now, what's interesting here is that my website, and this is just a little and this may be something that's happening in your situation, okay? Because when my guides are like, share this, I don't like to share my personal life. But when they're like, share that, there could be some similarity here. When I created my website, it was initially for my Reiki practice. Okay, my Reiki practice. I never intended to place on my Paths of Healing. Okay, so it's pathsofhealing.com. I'll place it here for those of you. Oh, actually, it's in the credentials and testimonials. Everything is there. I didn't plan to do it that way. I was just focusing on a Reiki practice, and that was it. But it led to, I ended up getting more clients interested, because I had clients before that, but I had more clients interested in readings than I did in Reiki. And then I put my private readings on the Reiki platform. This is to say that this options is there are many different ways that things that are interconnected can interconnect and create a sort of stability or even success here. So be open to the options and don't allow the possibility of options to create the mindset of feeling overwhelmed, okay? Or don't shortchange yourself. As long as your heart's desire is deeply connected to whatever this is, then victory may come through here for you. But let's see. Okay, I feel you're going to reap what you sow. Is that what that victory is saying? There you go. See, for those of you who are like, why does she? Exactly what I said. That's the reason why when I was shuffling and I started at this reading, I heard roots. You're starting to build this. This feels like it's not even fully fully down packed stable. And that's okay. Because you're building you're building it slowly. Okay? So this is nice. Building this very slowly. Okay? You may start seeing some more fine-tuning or structure in whatever this is as time goes by. But I do feel that you're going to reap some sort of benefits here in the long run. It might take some time. Pentacles energy is years energy. And I never like to say years because then it like stresses people out. But it's not something that happens overnight, but it happens with time. Tick tock. And you may be this may have sprung to you like instantaneously. This may have even been a download. Because I'm getting here, it could have been like some type of download that you may have experienced here, like a very like big idea or a quick idea or an idea that just came out of like nowhere. But it did come from somewhere. It came from your higher self. It came from your ethereal realm, especially if you've been asking, wishing, desiring, or manifesting ways to strengthen something that you've already built. Okay? So TikTok is coming across as divine time is at play. And look at that. You do have the number 3, which is working as a team. Okay? Working with your guides and your higher self, the creator, and putting in the work, physical, tangible work on the earthly realm. All right. Let's see what else is coming through. All right. As long as you're, and I know it says soulmate, but this is not about, it's not about love. It's about you and your higher self. I just pointed to the fact that teamwork, okay, the ethereal realm. Number 3 is collaborative, working collaboratively with the divine. Okay, if you see the forget about that it says TikTok, but if you see the hand, it's the hand of the divine with a clock, with a stopwatch. So there may be some divine guidance here in this option that came through for you. And like I said, you're not alone. You're working with your higher self, your guardian angel, or, your ethereal guides. As long as you remain working both in the earthly realm, putting the effort, consistency, patience, money, resources, whatever, and as long as you are guided by your heart's desire to move into a direction where you're working with your higher self in whatever it is that you're going to gain clarity as time goes by, then this is, you see, look at that, right behind it. I didn't even get to paste this down. Look at that. Working with your higher self, working with the divine, working with your guardian angel. The more that you allow yourself to work with them, they will then help you if you choose to ask them, because you have to ask, you have to invite them in. They can't just barge in and help without you asking, okay? So this is saying, look at that. Options are going to be presented in divine timing, and you are going to be helped in some way, shape, or form. And like I told you, this is not about love, but it's about the love that you put into your heart's desire, or your heart's desire here talking. So your guides, the creator, your guides, and the ethereal, destiny and fate is more than happy to help. However, and there is a however, you can't be vibrating in the energy of lack or in the energy of scarcity, because then that kind of, in a way, holds everything up. You can't create and build from an energy of scarcity, from lack. Oh, I don't think this is a good idea. Well, if you don't think it's a good idea, don't do it, right? But this reading says we're here to help and support in whatever idea this is. We're giving you options. We're helping you in the options that you're, channeling and downloading. But at the end, it's up to you to get out of your own way. Okay? So if this shadow tends to be a pattern, this is talking about finding ways to clear that. Okay? All right, let's take a look. I have 2 more decks. Actually, 2, yeah. I have this one, and then we're going to end this reading with that. All right, let's see what else is coming through. All right. But good luck in whatever this is. Well, whatever it is, congratulations, because it feels like it's very, very much in alignment. It does feel like it's in alignment to something that you are creating for yourself. So, very good luck on this. This looks good. It looks really good. You know me, I'm very honest. If it doesn't, I'd say it. Look at that. What did I say was your blockage? This right here. The more in alignment that you are, the more that you allow yourself to really listen to your heart's desire and the reality of making a way possible for you to build on whatever it is that you choose to build, it starts with your alignment, because there seems to be this reoccurring storyline here that you tend to allow your fears, scarcity mindset, overthinking, being critical, your shadow self to rear its ugly head in the mix of something that you want to create and that you want to continue to build. And so that's why your guides are saying you need to heal that part of you, and you need to kind of shush it, like anytime you hear that shadow self coming in wanting to rain on your parade, shh, okay? And this energy healing says your natural energy healing abilities are an important part of your life purpose. It cannot be clearer than what I just channeled right before I picked up this deck. And if you see the person is in alignment, you see the person's hand is open to the heavens, to the earth, to the higher realms. And this here is the sign of receiving. Receiving. That's why I said a little while ago that I wouldn't be surprised if you just got a quick download and you just received the download, and as quickly as you received the download, you were like, oh my God, no, I don't think I can do that, or got into your self-limited belief. You see what I'm saying? Remember, when you ask the universe for help, for ideas, to intercede on your behalf, it's going to come in an unexpected way. You don't know how it's going to unfold. You don't know how what you are manifesting will intertwine with other things in your life, and how at times it might take people away or things away in order for you to build whatever it is that you want to build. Sometimes people think that it's like a very neatly wrapped gift. No, it's however the divine wants to, help you here. And it might be through another vehicle. Because like I said, my Paths of Healing website was originally for my Reiki practice. And my guides were like, you need to expand it to, your tarot services. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't, that's not what I wanted to do initially. And sure enough, that's eventually what I did. And even though I had clients before, clients doubled, tripled. So, again, validation confirmation here, with kind of like you were thinking this, and then now you're being met with another option. And so that's what's coming through. So very, very beautiful reading. This is your last deck. Up next, we have Briss. Briss is up next. Let's take a look at your last and final card here. Wow, I didn't even pick it. It just jumped out of the deck. This is exactly what I was talking about in regards to your limited beliefs. It says release It doesn't have to be jealousy. It says jealousy here. Release your self-limited belief. Release the judgment that you do on something right away. Instead of embracing it, you quickly judge or overthink it. Release self-sabotaging thoughts or limited belief. Release anything that is not serving you in your higher purpose or in your greater purpose, in your, and I'll say it again because it came through, in whatever life purpose or soul purpose your podcast is in connection with. Release says limited beliefs, scarcity mindset. It doesn't say that here, but I'm replacing jealousy with that. Scarcity mindset are affirmations that you don't have something, which is what I said at the top of the reading with the man holding the person holding the coin. Those limited beliefs are just affirmations that you're saying to yourself that you don't have something. And the universe manifests exactly as you affirm. Does that sound familiar? Let other people's successes, interesting, because I said at the top of the reading, I don't like sharing my personal stories. And my guides were saying, share your personal story with Monica because there could be some sort of connection. I don't know what connection it is, but I trust that my guides are telling me, share your story because there could be a connection for Monica. And it's saying the same thing here. Let other people's success inspire you rather than frustrate you. If they can have it, so can you. I cannot make this up. This whole entire reading, and for those of you who are like, oh yeah, she's just like amping this. Nope. Watch it from the beginning and you will see this is exactly what we've been talking about from the top of the reading. Okay? And hence the experience that I was sharing about myself when I started my YouTube channel, when I started my my paths of healing, which was supposed to be only for my Reiki practice, but then I merged both. That wasn't an option that I was thinking about, but that was an option that the universe was giving me, saying you need to merge it. So there you go. That's all that I have for you. Monica, thank you so much for your love, loyalty, and support, my dear. I hope this has shined some type of clarity, just like this world card, in regards to your reading. But I mean, what an amazing reading. Everything always connects full circle at the end. And intuitive friends, that's why when I tell you, when I am placing content on my channel, give it a chance. If something called you to watch that specific video or that specific whatever, give it a chance, because there may be messages at the end of the reading that kind of give you that full 360 approach. Okay. All right, intuitive friends, for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. Monica, oh boy. Monica, I'm going to take a look if you wrote anything in the chat. Just give me a moment here. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Lexa Tarot, and I am a second-degree Reiki practitioner, as well as an intuitive tarot and oracle reader. And if you are interested in learning more about me, my client testimonials, or my credentials, just take a look down below in the description box. All the links are down below. Intuitive friends, if you just subscribed to the channel today, I want to say thank you. If you did so during this live, I want to say thank you. Just so you know, I do 5-minute mini readings on my channel. So make sure that you've subscribed, because I only do that for my subscribers and my members on my channel. So maybe you might want to take part in the 5-minute mini readings here that I do on my channel. For those of you who are my subscribers and my members, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your love, your loyalty, and support. Thank you for always being here and giving thumbs up, cheering me on, giving me the support. and helping grow our Lexa Tarot community. Okay. All right, intuitive friends. Let's see here if Monica wrote anything, and if she did, what it was. Let's see. Briss, you're up next, my dear. Okay. Let's see, Monica. Monica says, I have not yet invested much time. This podcast was channeled suddenly. Validation confirmation. That's what I felt as well. And I just created it. The but but the moment I created, I started to panic. There you go. That was that card that I showed you. It says, just as I was so excited and motivated, the same intensity of self-doubt kicked in for a minute. There you go. Yeah, validation confirmation. I was able to see it energetically. This is something I created to give back to the world. Wonderful. This is beautiful. This download came in all of a sudden, and I was going to take a shower, and it had to be born right away. Wonderful. I cannot wait for you to have this podcast. Okay. So if you invite me, I'll definitely chime in and go. I don't know what your podcast is about, but whatever this is, we're here to support. Okay. So thank you so much. All right. Monica, what a beautiful reading. Thank you so much. And again, intuitive friends, especially for those of you who are new to my channel, that is validation confirmation here on the messages that I channel for entertainment purposes only. Okay, now we're gonna go to the next person who seems to be the final person. Nino just jumped in. Hello, Nino. Thank you so much for jumping in. You're gonna be right after Briss, okay? All right, Briss, let's see what's going on with the possibility of growth at my current job. All right, so let's explore. Briss, I want to say thank you so much for your love, loyalty, and support. I also want to remind you, Briss, Nino, you're right after Briss, okay? Briss, I also want to remind you here that these messages are for entertainment purposes only. But let's see what's coming through. What's possibly going on here in regards to your job, okay? Your current job. I love how you were very specific, okay? Not just any job, your current job, all right? Because we always need to be very specific in the questions. So, which is why I do that open-ended. Yeah, so let's see. What is coming through here? What's possibly going on with Briss and her current job? Give me more, give me clarity. I'm going to do these individually because I'm being called to. Okay, so we have the sixth chakra. There's something, there's an energy here, Briss, talking about that your intuition has been speaking to you in some way, shape, or form. Whether this is a hunch, whether this is the gut level feeling, whether it's a dream that you may have had, or whether it's some thoughts that have crossed your mind. The sixth chakra, which is the third eye chakra, is very much connected to intuition. So let's see what else comes through. But your guides are saying here, your intuition has been giving you some type of alerts here connected to your current job. The world. Whatever your self-doubt has been in connection to whatever it is that you're feeling or thinking intuitively, you're gaining more clarity. Listen to your intuition. Listen to the messages that come towards you, whether it happens when you're in prayer, whether it happens when you're in meditation, whether this happens when you are in, this moment of like, I don't know, doing sound healing, yoga, Pilates, whatever it is, when you're leaning into your yin energy, listen to what's coming through, because there could be some clarity is something that you don't see clearly, but your guardian angel, your higher self, your ethereal realm, okay, the ethereal realm, your ethereal guides, creator, the universe, destiny, may be in a way showing you something intuitively, or showing you something with your physical eyes, or your five senses, or your six senses here. Okay? Let's see what else is coming through. Give me more in regards to Briss's Briseda's current job. I say Briss because it's easier, but and I also want to say you've written Briss before, so wow. You saw I didn't pull it. It came out. You have victory. You have deceit. You have intuition again. And I want to take one more out. Give me more clarity on victory. This is saying the same thing that I just said again, but there's something more that you're getting intuitively. Community. All right. Briss, intuitively, remember that I said that you're getting some type of messages with your six senses, whether that be clairvoyancy, claircognizance, claritangency, clairaudience. Okay? I know I'm missing a whole bunch, but you know what I'm saying here. You're getting messages from your sixth chakra, your six senses, in regards to and you saw I didn't pick the deck. I didn't even cut the deck. How about that? It just jumped out. You're getting some intuitive hits in regards to something or someone who is deceptively trying to trip you up in your current job. Okay? There is something or someone that is being deceptive, that has a motive or a hidden agenda, and you know exactly either who this person is or who these people are, or you know you're getting a feeling or an intuition about what this situation or circumstance may be about. Listen carefully. It is super important for you to continue to be open to your intuition, goddess of the moon. Literally what I just said a little while ago. Your intuition is opening up, or it's giving you clarity on something having to do with your current job, your current situation at work. I do feel that there may be at work some people, okay? Some people, and it could be three people, 1, 2, 3. 3 people, or a couple of people, or a few people at work that are either jealous of your ability to climb the ladder of success, or is something connected to this deceit. They may be jealous of the shine. They may be, I don't know, envious. They may be plotting whatever, something against you. But here's the thing. You have a strong community of guides, you see, and you stop by and get your readings. So you're always going to be ahead of the situation. for entertainment purposes only. But you're going to be ahead of the situation. Why? Because your guides are guiding you, helping you, and even here, not only through the readings that you do here, but also you yourself, you can feel that something here is opening or needs more awareness. Okay, that you're opening up to this awareness. I feel that you are very good at what you do. You're very competent in what you do. And there are people who cheer for you in what you do in regards to your job, okay? In regards to your current job. But is there something going on behind the scenes? Yes. Okay? Something is going on. You've picked up on it already, or you're continuing to pick up on it. And slowly but surely, you're gaining more clarity and you're seeing something or someone, whether it be a few people, a couple of people, or three people, in whatever this may be. Now, let us go with this deceit over here because I want to know more information. Hence, this is why I call this reading not only just a super chat, but let's spill the tea. Show me more, Spirit, in regards to this energy of deceit, jealousy, envy, or this plot against that may potentially be here against Briss, or some, whatever this may be. Just, I don't know, but give me more. There could also be here a person who may be jealous of your... Hold on. I need to turn this around because your card is here. There could be someone that cheers for you, but also may be a little jealous about your abilities because you could do more. And you might outshine someone here. And I know that that's not your intention, and that may not be how you see it, but we're not talking about how you see it. We're talking about how this person or this energy may be their perspective of it. So because you are really good at something, there could be someone here who may fear even their own position. Even if you're like, oh, but da 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 da. Yeah, the person or people could give you accolades, but there's still this concern about this. But let's see what this says, because I don't know. Quiet commitment. Oh, quiet contentment. You see, there could be here someone quietly acting like they're cheering for you, but your possibilities, or not possibilities, your talent and skills may be ready for more, but this person who's cheering for you, I just said that, literally, may not want to expand your opportunity because you might outshine X, Y, and Z, whatever this is about. Because quiet contentment, and I'm asking for validation, confirmation, and deceit, is coming across as simple companionship brings you peace and satisfaction. There could be someone, like I said, and take it as it may resonate, someone here is quietly watching your accolades and may not want you to climb the ladder of success, which can happen even when people cheer for us. People might cheer, they might be very happy that you are good at what you do, but they may not want to give you the recognition. They might not want to give you a higher title. They might not allow you to expand and show your skills and abilities in different ways, because it may put them in a position where they're going to have to pay you more, where your role is going to have to change. And sometimes, and I'm not saying this is for everyone, but in your situation, why allow you to expand in your abilities? Because if we allow you to expand in your abilities, then we got to pay you more. Then your title has to change, your role has to change, or what you're doing is so well that you're going to have to get more accolades, which is going to place you in a position where you're like, okay, so where's the money? If I'm so amazing and fantastic, where's my compensation? You see what I'm saying? So there's some tactic that's going on here. It could be people that are jealous for you, and it could also be something here where, because you're giving so much more to the company and so much more to the role, someone here knows that you can outrank them or move to another place where you will be given your compensation. You'll be given more money. You have what it takes. So see, this is why I'm saying that someone here could be giving a lot of accolades, a lot of, yes, you're so fantastic, you're great, I don't know what we would do without you. But they're not ready to put their money where their mouth is. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying this yet, but I feel that you are starting to see that this may be a tactic to keep you in your job, but not give you the compensation that is due for you in your job. And take it as it may resonate, because guess what? I'm going to find out more about this deceit. So you may be waking up to the fact that you can probably make more money or reap more rewards, and the rewards doesn't have to be money, okay? But in some cases, it might be a higher title, a higher pay, or something here, because there's this energy, and I'm gonna continue to explore, because that's what we're gonna dig a little deeper. But that's the energy here that I'm getting. You're not giving the merit that you are due in regards to your compensation here. And you're starting to realize it. Or you're realizing it through this reading. I don't know. Give me more on the deceit. Give me more on deceit. See? Double standard. There you go. And I'm going to explain ulterior motive right behind. I'm telling you, there's someone here who's like, yay, you're doing so well, but it's all talk. It's no action. So I don't believe them. I believe that they think that you're doing a good job, but I believe that they don't want to lose you, which is they feel that just by telling you, yay, you're so wonderful, that's going to be enough. And I'm telling you, at some point, it's not going to be enough for you. You're going to realize here something, and you're going to say, you know what? I'm giving 1,000% and I'm not getting a wage increase, or I'm not getting compensated in any way for what I am doing above and beyond. And so the reason why you have double standards here is whomever this person is who is like cheering for you, yay, yay, or people or environment that are like, yeah, we're so happy, contentment. We're so happy that she's here, but we can't say it too much because then she's going to be aware. She's going to notice that she's an important person here. We don't want to, give her too much accolades, because then she's going to wake up and say, well, if I'm that fantastic, then why am I not getting, compensated for it? And the funny thing is the same person that's doing the hurrah, hurrah, and the same people that are, and I say people because there's more than one person there, the same people that are doing the hurrah, hurrah would never allow themselves to be in a position where they're doing so much work and not get compensated. So if you feel like, oh, no, whomever is watching, you'd be so fantastic and so giving and so 1,000% in your job, that same person would not allow themselves to get paid less if they were doing what you were doing. They would straight up be like, hello, something's unfair. Okay? So there could be something here of talking about balancing something off. Whether either this could also be talking about negotiating or renegotiating your contract, your role, compensation, or whatever this is. Because the way that something is being shown here seems a little bit, someone may be getting close to you with hidden intentions. There could be something here that it's like, well, we don't want you to expand, or we're not going to give you that opportunity to expand. I don't know what this is about, so I don't know. But I'm just sharing what's coming through. All right, let's go to the next deck here. Which one's this one? Okay. Let's see. Give me more clarity here on the sixth chakra. Or actually, no, give me more clarity here on the goddess of the moon and the world, because it's all about the clarity that you're seeing, or the like you waking up to what the dealings may be happening here behind the scenes. Um, let's see here. I feel like you're going to, if not now, maybe in the near future, you're going to want to kind of look somewhere where you're going to get paid more or something like that. You see, you have what it takes to go the distance. You have what it takes to move something along. You're a go-getter. You really give your 1,000%. So you might have some choices here. You may choose to stay where you are and negotiate with the double standard, or you may choose to start looking elsewhere and say, you know what? I feel that since it hasn't come from them, then I'm going to start looking elsewhere for another opportunity where I can feel that things are more balanced or more equal. Okay? Where there's a reciprocal energy in something here. Okay? So that's what I'm getting here with go to distance. I'll take a look at your, if you are leaving any comments, I'll take a look at that later. But give me more on the community and victory. Wow. Did you see that? I didn't even touch it. All that glitters is in gold. So although things may be going very well in your job and you may feel very comfortable, something here you are sensing that either needs to change on their end or something needs to change on your end, because you may not be getting compensated as well as you should with the amount of effort and work that you put into something here. So like I said, there may be a little bit of tipping here where you're giving more than what you're getting, that you may want to either renegotiate or because sometimes when we go and renegotiate, all of a sudden they stop giving you your accolades after that. So it's up to you. Some people choose to renegotiate their contract, their compensation, and sometimes people just kind of wait to see. And in the waiting and the seeing, they look at how long they've invested in a company And if the company themselves hasn't branched out and given them more ample either pay or opportunities, then people decide to start doing their own thing. So again, I do feel that this could go either way, which could also be here the sense of, the balance. But is there some type of ulterior motive here happening behind the scenes? I do feel that for sure. Okay. And I do feel that if there is a negotiation or a renegotiation, okay, you have to come very firm. You can't leave it kind of like open up. And if they don't give you the raise or whatever this may be, then you need to tell them, I want to know exactly what I need to do in order to get that raise. That means you want steps. What are the steps that I need to do? And then you may choose to stay and do those steps, or you may say, I've done that already. They're just gaslighting me. They're just trying to hold me in my position because I'm good at what I do, because I bring value to the company. You know what I mean? So this is a kind of energy that I feel that could go either way here for you. Whether you choose to have that type of conversation, or because I will tell you this, if your higher ups were in your position, they would not allow themselves to not get the money that they deserve. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what the double standard is about. It's people that want us to do a lot. They consume our talents, abilities, and skills. But God forbid if the roles were reversed, they would not put themselves in a position where they're not getting the compensation. So that's how this is coming across, okay? So there may be a little bit of deceit behind the scenes in regards to how transparent that may be. They may even say we don't have that in the budget. When in reality there is a budget to give you more money, and maybe they're choosing not to go in that direction. But again, I'm only gonna I'm just sharing what's coming through. So I have two more decks for you, and then we're gonna jump into your last and final. But let's see here what else is coming through. Give me more here, more clarity. So again, as with everything in life, you have a choice on what you want to do and how you may want to go about it. You got to look at the pros and the cons on any of the choices that you make or the things that you are thinking about here. But do I feel that they're going to give that promotion right away, or being compensated right away? I feel that they're going to be. They may say no. Well, you know how the economy is, and da 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 da. But yet, if you were to go to a website to see, and you could be very honest here, okay? You could be very honest and say, you know what? I've looked at the competitive rates of what I do here in this, at my job, and the competitive rates are going for X, Y, and Z. That's why I'm saying that when you go, and if you choose to go in the direction of having that conversation, you need to base your things on facts, not on just like, well, I was thinking. No, you're like, I've been researching my position in various companies, and I've looked at their job qualifications, and I've noticed that in other places I would make far more than what I'm making here. Okay? You got to get very ballsy. Doesn't mean that you have to be rude, but you need to come with a sense of like, I know exactly why I'm coming into this office or making this offer or asking for more money, because I've done my due diligence. I've done my research. Okay? So that is coming across as that kind of forward energy. Not rude, but intelligent. And why I'm saying intelligent and pointing to the scales is because the scales are very much connected to Libra energy. Libra is about justice. It's about bringing things into balance. And something here may be out of balance, which may be the reason why you're asking about your current job. So if you need to be fair and square, and you need to be very clear about why you're asking for compensation or whatever this may be, money, resource, whatever, then you need to like put all the cards on the table and say, this is what I am noticing out there, and this is what I am noticing here at the place that I'm working. And I want to level that. I want to create something that's not so far, you know, imbalance. I want something that's more on par to what's happening out there. You see what I'm saying? You're getting family here. Again, I feel that, and you're getting children. So I'm getting here with family and children that you need to look out for your benefit. And yes, you may feel like people that you work for are like family. You may feel like you've worked with them for a very long time since you started, like maybe you've devoted a lot of time and energy, or you started long ago, or however this may be. But it's time for you to really think about your own future, not just be a beneficial, great, you know, employee to benefit their family or their their glow up. Okay, so you really need to take a look here at how you can start putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's great that you're giving accolades, but now is the time to start looking at your own future, your family, your children, your future, what you want to do. Okay, because nowadays pouring all your eggs in one basket is not the best thing, right? I mean, nowadays, what's in trend is having multiple streamlines of income, not just banking on one thing like back in the olden days. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at your last and final message here with the lighting goal pathway here with the oracle deck here. Let's see what's coming through. Briss, I hope these messages have been insightful. I hope they've given you some type of clarity, right? I'm being called to. Okay. Give me one more then. Wow. Did you see that? I'm gonna go like this because my guides were like, you're not finished. So we have the Two of Pentacles here, and we have the Lovers here. So those are the two cards that I'm gonna pull out. And right behind the Lovers, you have the Empress. See, Empress deals with family, children, growth. Look at that. So I'll pull that as well. All right. Wow. See, when my guys say, nope, don't go to the next deck, I don't go to the next deck because there's more. This is basically what I said, but I'm going to say it again because there's more validation confirmation. I just talked about two streams of income. That could also be a choice here for yourself, where you could be thinking about doing two streams of income instead of one. Or this could also be expanding the awareness here for you, where that one job that you're working towards, you have a full plate. You're juggling a lot. You're doing a lot. You're giving a lot of yourself. Like I said, with the go the distance. Okay, you're giving your all, but you may not be receiving the compensation that you should be receiving, which is the reason why there's two pentacles there. So again, free will is a thing, so you need to figure that out. You have two choices, two important choices, and those two important choices are dependent upon whatever this may be. So you have two options, two choices, or two different ways to look at something here. You can renegotiate your compensation and be very straightforward on the exact amount that you feel that you need to receive based on the things that you have done. So when you speak in that regard, you need to explain and show how you have given growth to the company. How have you increased? This is a conversation that you need to bring all your glows, what you've done. Remember that, project that I worked on, da 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 da. There's been an increase in da 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 because I've done da 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 da. Okay, it needs to be very logical, analytical, very much like robotic in a way, because we're working on facts. You got to work on facts, not on feelings. Okay. The Two of Pentacles is saying you're going to have a hard choice. So either you're going to negotiate hard with valid, how much people are making at your, whatever, or do you want to add another stream of income to your life? Or making a choice here of leaving, and the reason why I'm pointing to leaving is because this is talking about for location. Two of Pentacles could also be talking about leaving something behind, choices, okay? Choosing another place, choosing to relocate in another company. But again, those could be your choices. The Lovers also talks about choices. It is important for you to look at the pros and cons. And a lot of you may be saying, yeah, but the Fool card is about love. I mean, the Lovers, I don't know why I said Fool cards. The Lovers card is about love. Yes, it's about you making a choice based on how you feel and looking at the pros and cons of something, because Gemini rules the Lovers card. And guess who rules Gemini? Mercury. Mercury is a planet of travel, which I mentioned here. You may want to relocate. Mercury is a planet of clear thinking and clear communication. Like I said, you have not one air energy, you have two. You have Libra and you also have Gemini. And Libra and Gemini are not going to be are not making decisions on feelings. They're making decisions on facts and figures. So the Lovers card is giving you that kind of alert. Look at the pros and cons and make clear decisions, because it's coming to a point where you're either going to stay and ask for more compensation or add another stream, income, a stream of income into your life to compensate what you're not being given. Or you may start choosing to look elsewhere because you want to grow. Empress, you want to grow. By the way, Libra's coming up again in your reading. The Empress is ruled by Venus. Venus rules two signs, Taurus and Libra. Mentioned it at the top of your reading. Okay? So, and it goes back to family and children. You may be at a position where you need to start thinking about your future and starting to grow. And like I said, there may be a very big chance where the people your job, your company that been saying you're doing so well, job well done, may be wanting to shortchange you the moment that you start asking for more money. So before you choose to do anything, that is the reason why you have the Two of Pentacles. Okay, think about things, look at the pros and the cons, and start having your ducks lined up in a row. Okay, because if you may just want to give them 3 more months and something doesn't, move along, or 2 more months and something doesn't move along, then you need to already be doing something to give you the support that you need in order to move to another direction if this is what you choose to do. Okay, last and final card, because I think now Spirit is like, okay, now you can move to the next deck. Let's take a look at your last and final card. Intuitive friends, up next we have Nino, but if there is one more person that wants to go right after Nino, I'll be more than happy to do your reading, but if not, Nino will be the last person. So you have like maybe a couple of minutes to make up your mind if you want to do a $9.99 super chat reading, another reading. Wow. Woo! Don't back down. Look at that. Don't back down. Don't cave in. Don't start leading with your emotions. Okay, if you're gonna go in there and you're gonna be like, hey, I'm doing too much work and I get compensated, stick to your guns. Okay, it says listen to your heart and embrace. It says listen to your heart and embrace all the wounds, because remember, they might say no, they might say we don't have the budget, we don't have the money, but we still want you to be that fabulous person because you're contributing so much to the company. It says, remember, you once had started these dreams. So once upon a time, when you started to work in your career or start in the job force, there was something here that your focus was on. It may have been focusing on climbing up the ladder of success, having stability in money, home, environment, and whatever. So this is saying, remember when you started the workforce or you started in this job or in this company, you had a plan. Don't forget what that plan was, because you have dreams that you want to move and grow. Empress. It says, remember you were once a warrior to fight for your own good, and you still are indeed. So this is talking about energetically, talking about making moves and not backing down. So if you call a spade, making sure that you follow up with whatever it is. Okay? So there you go. That being said, I hope these messages have been insightful. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, share, and continue to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank you here, Briz, for your super. I greatly appreciate it. And I wish you the very best. Okay, my dear? That being said, intuitive friends, for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Lexa Tarot, and I am a second-degree Reiki practitioner as well as an intuitive tarot and oracle reader. You're interested in learning more about me, my client testimonials, or my credentials, just take a look down below in the description box. Intuitive friends, oh, I just put that in backwards. Whoa, what happened? What's going on here? Sorry. All right, there we go. Intuitive friends, if you are interested in learning more about me, my client testimonials, or my credentials, then take a look down below in the description box, as well as in the chat. All that information is there for you, okay? Intuitive friends, I want to say thank you to those of you who have subscribed to the channel during this live stream. I want to say thank you to those of you who participated in this chat. And I also want to say thank you to those of you who subscribe to the channel and are sharing my YouTube channel link with like-minded souls. Intuitive friends, if you are new to the channel, I do these types of readings for free on my channel. So if you would like to participate in that, then subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell and all alerts. So when I do a reading for my free 5-minute mini reading, you are notified and you can get your 5-minute mini reading in another, not this one, because this one is paid, but the other ones that I do for what your guides want you to know. That being said, intuitive friends, thank you for those of you who have stopped by. And I also want to thank, of course, Butterfly University, Ascending Universal Butterfly, for your love, loyalty, and support, for volunteering here on the channel as you do always. So thank you so much. All right, let's see what's coming through. Wow, there's a lot. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. All right. So Briss says, yes, there's a few people like that. My boss always expresses how grateful and what good job I'm doing, but it still won't unlock. You see? What did I say? Didn't I say that was just exactly what I was talking about? But still won't allow or invite me to go to visit other locations. There you go. Someone that's like, yay, you're doing a great job, but is not allowing some type of expansion. I do a lot and more work and still no more pay. There you go. You're going to have to make that decision, my dear. That's exactly what your reading was saying. It says, I do see that. I've seen other companies pay more for my position with less responsibilities. I'm not even going to say anything else because that's exact. You want to know the answers to this? Go back to the reading because that was clear as day. But I'm reading it for those of you who were like, is that really? Yep, she's writing it here. And by the way, when I put my phone away, this is super tiny. So I can't put it, in order for me to see it, I have to have it literally in front of my face. So this is exactly what I was channeling, and I didn't even know that this was what you were saying here. It says, I'm thinking about moving to make more money. Surprise, the Two of Pentacles. Surprise, the Two of Pentacles talking about relocating. Surprise, the Empress talking about growth. I'm not surprised. With this reading, I wanted to confirm if they will acknowledge and compensate me or not so I can keep up with my plan on looking for another employer. Honey, you should be looking for another employer regardless. Regardless. You know why? Because you just said that you do a lot more and you're not getting paid for what you're doing. That's why that go the distance card came out in your reading. You're pouring your heart and soul, but you're not being compensated. I would have been looking for a job for a while if I were you. I'd be putting my ducks in a row behind the scenes. They might say yes, they might say no, but if they say no, you need to know what you're going to do and how you're going to move in a different direction. So there you go. All right. Briss said, very clear reading. It'll be up to them, but I'll first complete my house purchase. Yes. Make sure that you are solidifying your home. And that's the reason why family and children came up. Make sure that you are good at the home front. Make sure that you're still looking out there for other positions. And make sure that you do your due diligence before you do what you're going to do next. That's super important. You don't just want to go bust in there. You have things that you're working on. Wonderful. But this is giving you validation, confirmation of what you intuitively were feeling from before. So thank you so much, Briss. All right. Last and final message here is for Nino. All right. So no one here is after Nino, which is fine by me because I've been here for quite some time. So I'm going to close this session. All right, and we are done. We've closed the session. All right. So now the only reading that I am doing is the one. Thank you so much, Butterfly. Now I've closed the session, and I'll be doing Nino's reading. Nino's reading says, "What is possibly going on in regards to my love life? I am single." Okay, so let's take a look at what is possibly going on in regards to your love life, because right now at this moment in time, you are single. Okay. All right, intuitive friends. Let's see what's coming through here for Nino. First of all, sorry, my phone is glitching. All right, here we go. Let us begin. Nino, let's find out what's going on in regards to your love life, because you're single. All right, so let's start with this deck here. What is possibly going on with Nino's love life? Let's see. What is possibly going on with Nino's love life? Rest and rejuvenation. I feel that you've been manifesting, praying, wishing, yearning for some sign, symbol, synchronicity, or serendipitous event having to do with connecting you to the right person. This could be prayers that you've been asking, things that you've been, you know, doing, maybe spiritually, religiously. Okay. Rest and rejuvenation is also coming across like you've been taking the time to assess or reassess maybe your standards, your values, and if you haven't, you should, because rest and rejuvenation says that while you're single, you should be getting down to the nitty-gritty, getting down to the core base of doing the work for you, towards you, pouring into you, so that you can get the clarity that you need in order to know what standards are you looking for, what are the things that you are looking for in order to build or be ready to build a connection with someone. So, Nino, on my channel, in the energy healing and affirmations playlist, I do have the nighttime affirmation as well as the divine counterpart affirmation to help guide you here in your manifestation. Remember, we don't ask for a physical type of person that we want. We want to focus on the person's, integrity, readiness. You want someone who's healed, someone who has, a stable emotional stability, mental stability, energetic stability, spiritual stability, okay? And domestic life stability, all right? Stable job, stable home, stable family. So as you are single, you should take the time while you're being single to do that work within yourself, and while you're working on yourself, to also be very clear on the type of important standards that are necessary for you to have for yourself, because there are lots of people that ask for, they want all this list, but meanwhile their home life is a wreck, They have other things happening behind the scenes. They got things that they haven't cut cords with, but yet they want someone stable, single, this, that, the other, and they're not there. Their energy is not there. So, Nino, this is telling you it's important for you to be in the energy that you want to attract in regards to your love life. Let's take a look at what else is coming through for you. Third chakra, solar plexus chakra. Nino, you're being guided here to take a look at how confident you are approaching those environments where other people are single. Okay? So, first of all, you have a very strong intuitive sense of self. Okay? So, that's number one. Your intuition could be guiding you or may have guiding you to get this reading. That's number one. Number two, solar plexus are very much connected to your center, to your core, to your powerhouse. Okay? Your powerhouse is your solar plexus. That's what divides the lower chakras from the upper chakras. Okay? So it's super important. It holds a very valuable position. What I'm also getting here is that at times you may lack confidence. You may lack confidence to get yourself in the environment where there are single people. And I'm not talking about sitting behind a computer and getting on computer sites, okay? I'm talking about looking at connections, community, single people, you know, being part of communities here or being part of, speed dating events where you get an opportunity to meet people face to face, where you can explore more connections with friends, okay? Make more friendships, expand your social network, do different things, especially things that are very much connected to singles. So if there's like a singles party or a singles meeting or a singles dating or, get your seat, you can have dinner with 12 strangers that you've never met, but you're having dinner together. And it's like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. That's something that I would explore, you know? So you need to explore here what you may feel that pulls your interest in a direction where you're not just sitting, hoping, wishing, and praying, and you're in a position or you get yourself in a position where you talk to your friends, family, and loved ones, and you're like, hey, I'm single. Do you know any other people who are single? Okay? Because I would love to explore a friendship or connection here with someone, and you do that. And that's kind of like, in a way, getting you out of your comfort zone. But in order to get yourself out of your comfort zone, you have to feel confident. You have to feel secure. You need to, believe that, yeah, there is someone out there that can meet my standards and expectations. Let's see what else is coming through for you in regards to your love life. Indecision. There may be times where you are very much in your self-sabotaging thoughts or limited beliefs, where you're not sure which direction to go, or should you give people a chance, or which person you should give a chance, or which direction you should go in order to amplify your like casting a wider net or connecting to events that are in person and are very much connected to getting to know different people. All right. Give me more on rest and rejuvenation in regards to Nino's love life. Remember, if you're not clear in decision, if you're not clear on your focus, if you're not clear on what you want, the standards, the things that you feel are the core element of having a meaningful, healthy relationship, then you're going to keep attracting people who are unsure and are undecided and are uncertain and are apprehensive and don't know what they want or where they're going. So that's why I said at the top of the reading, in order for you to attract a like-minded person, a person who's confident, energetic, sure, who's working on themselves, who's doing all these things, you need to be in that energy so that you can attract that type of person. So you need to be in the energy that you attract, because if you're in self-doubt, you're going to attract people who are vibrating in that energy field. Rest and rejuvenation. Rejuvenation. There you go. You want a solid commitment, a solid person. You need to be solid. You need to be secure. You need to be on your game. Okay? You need to invest time, energy, focus, and consistency if you want to see your love life flourish. But in order for you to do that, you need to know exactly what it is that you are attracting. Like I said, I have a divine counterpart affirmation in my energy healing and affirmation playlist. Do it a couple times during the week. I also have a nighttime affirmation. Do that before you go to sleep. You need to be in high vibration. You need to get your stuff settled, because there are a lot of people who want a love life, but they have not cut the cord on the things they need to cut the cord with in regards to their love life. They want someone who's healed, but they haven't done the healing. They want someone who's single, but then they have multiple cords connected to situations, circumstances, events that are not giving them the freedom to be single. So this is talking about you need to center yourself, ground yourself, figure out what you really want so that you can know what it is, right? You got to be in the energy that you want to attract. Third chakra, angel of balance. Like I said, if I were you, I would balance the solar plexus chakra. Solar plexus chakra here in the middle of your stomach, or where your belly button is, around that region of your stomach, okay, is your solar plexus chakra. If I were you, I would listen to solfeggio frequencies connected to your solar plexus chakra so that you can connect with your willpower, with the fire within your soul, within what it is that you want to move towards or what you want to see, so that you can be comfortable in your own skin. Solar plexus chakra has a lot to do with confidence. Okay, there are two. Okay, two came out in the back scene here. You got Deceit and you got Moon Goddess. Super important for you to let go of your self-sabotaging thoughts, your limited beliefs, as well as the patterns that you may see yourself doing over and over again. If you've been doing the same thing every single time in regards to your love life and you keep getting the same results, then something here has to change. Whether it's something that needs to change, give me 1 second. Whether it's something that needs to change within you, or whether this is a change that you need to make in regards to the way that you manifest. And why am I saying manifest? You got the goddess moon here. So your intuition is super good, super keen, super sharp. And the more that you balance your solar plexus chakra, the more you're going to feel more attuned to that energy of building as time moves on. So you got to be proactive also. Okay? Very, very beautiful reading here in regards to moving things along. All right. Give me 2 cards here. Let me get the first card out first, and then we'll see what else is coming through. New life. Validation, confirmation. You want a different love life? You want a different outcome? You want to move in a different direction? Then you need to start doing new things. You need to start implementing new strategies, make new connections, renew your sense of self-confidence, reignite your passion to feel like, you know what, I know that I deserve an amazing human being as a partner because I am an amazing human being and I know that I'd be an amazing partner. So if you haven't been doing the work, then it's time for you to buckle down and really do the work and heal. There are lessons that we need to learn by ourselves in the healing process of our past connections, and there are going to be new lessons that are going to emerge when you meet someone. Okay? So the lesson doesn't stop just because you've done your work. It continues because there is some work that we need to do individually, ourselves, by ourselves, and for ourselves. And then there are other lessons that need to be learned in a connection with someone else. And every person is going to bring out or surface or resurface a lesson that you need to work on. So no connection is going to be perfect, but you can find the best energy, best standards, best person for the job of being your partner by making sure that you are very aware of what your manifestations are, what your standards are, what you're willing to say yes to or no to. Okay? For example, there may be moments here where you're like, you know what? No, I want a person who doesn't, listen, if you want kids or you don't want kids, whatever. But if you don't want to have any more kids, then don't be with someone who wants to have more kids. You see, you got to know who you are so that you can be very kind of like you can check off the list. If you want to relocate and do something, I don't know, in Timbuktu, then you need to be with someone who's open to relocating and going and joining with you to Timbuktu. If you want to have 10 children, then you need to be with someone who wants to have 10 children. You see what I'm saying? If you want a person who's single, then you need to be single. If you want a person who has never been married and never been divorced, then don't get involved with someone who is in a marriage or isn't divorced. You see what I'm saying? Because that is this energy of you making sure that you're calling in the energy that you are. So if you don't want to deal with someone else's mistakes, then don't get involved in their life, especially if they haven't done the work. Because I will tell you from advice, from my own personal experience, you cannot make someone, okay, hurry up and get out of their shit show of a life, no matter how much you love them. Okay? There are some situations that have nothing to do with you. But if you are in that connection, guess what? You're going to be wrapped up in that situation. You're going to have to deal with their stress that they haven't closed chapters. You have to deal with their situations, their stress, their anxiety, their whatever that has nothing to do with you, but because you want to go along in a situation where they have not found stability, you're going to be in it for the ride. So if you don't want that type of connection and that type of ride, then you need to make sure that when you get into a relationship, that you are very clear about the relationship that you want and the stability that you have in your life. Because, for example, and I'm just going to just use this as an example, if I don't have baby daddy drama, why do I want to get in a relationship with someone who has baby mama drama? Sometimes our emotions get in the way. And when emotions get in the way, then we give way too many chances for people who haven't shown the stability that they need to have in their lives, and we give chances. And then that's when we get wrapped up into situations that we don't need to get wrapped up in. You see what I'm saying? So this reading is giving you that type of clarity. You need to be sure what you want, right? So I'm single. I don't want to get in a relationship with someone who's married, period. If you're not legally divorced and I don't see the legal paperwork that says you are legally divorced, I don't want to deal with you, period. That's my standard. That doesn't mean it has to be your standard, but that's my standard. Why? Because I've been in situations where that's just a shit show of a show. And guess what? I no longer vibrate in the energy of giving those type of chances of lowering my standards and giving leeway to people who are in those situations. Okay? We all have choices. We all have free will. Okay? We have the right to pick whatever we want. If you want a polygamous relationship, then look for someone who's a polygamist. If you want a relationship that is monogamy only and you want to get married, then you need to look for that. But you need to be in that energy. So you cannot give chances to people that are not meeting your standards, because it's going to not pan out well. You know what I mean? So again, this is just giving you examples. You can find your soulmate. You will find your soulmate. There may be opportunities here that the universe has in you finding a person that is aligned to your standards, but you need to be selective and you need to redefine what your standards are. And I'm not talking about, I want a person that looks like this, that no, I'm not talking about looks. I'm talking about core beliefs. I'm talking about things that matter. Their job, What do they do for a living? Are they happy doing what they do? Because you have a whole slew of people in this world that go to their job and they're miserable. And they come home and they're miserable because their job makes them miserable. And guess what? If you attach yourself to someone who has a career that, yes, they make good money, but they're miserable, you're going to be in that miserable boat right along with them. They're going to have one oar and you're going to have the other one, honey. And both of you are going to be in this life where, yes, there may be a lot of money, but there's not a lot of satisfaction. See? So let's continue here. You know, if you're about getting messages straight to the core, well, you've come to the right channel because I don't sugarcoat anything, intuitive friends. I call it like I see it. Energy never lies. And yes, my readings are for entertainment purposes only, but energy doesn't lie. People lie. People lie. People will tell you that they're ready. You may even lie to yourself and say that you're ready. You know? And you know, you have your standards. And you need to make sure, is someone gaslighting you? Are they making believe that they're ready because you are a good catch? Because let me tell you, I talk from experience. Okay, when you're a good catch, people will make any type of lie just because they want you in your life, just because you benefit them in some way, shape, or form, right? So let's take a look. I'm going to do this deck and one more, and then we're going to wrap up in your reading, okay? Let's see what's coming through. Engagement. You want a committed partner. You want a connection that's going to last a lifetime. You want someone who's going to build with you. And that's great. This is saying this is at your disposal. Okay? But there are some things or some ways, some strategies that you need to take a look at, because if you want something new, you need to refresh something here, whether it's your list, your standard, your this, your that, and you also need to be realistic. Okay? Why am I saying need to be realistic? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because you have the person holding the coin. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn are very practical. You need to be realistic. You need to look at your age bracket. You need to look at the people around your community and where you live and the choices. Because, you know, I can't expect, and I'm just talking about me, by the way, I'm just talking about me, not you. I can't expect someone not to have children at the age bracket that I'm in. At the age bracket that I'm in, I have to expect that there may be a smaller pool of people that don't have children. Okay? So I need to be realistic, right? If I'm still saying, well, I don't want to date anyone who has children, then I need to look at something from a different point of view, or I need to just make sure that the new people that I am talking to don't have kids, right? Or if I don't want to have more kids or something like that. This is just, again, an example. Okay? But that is what that's talking about, because you do want something with ascending. You want someone who wants more. You want someone who, you know, knows what they want and wants a deeply committed relationship. So if I've never been married, okay, I've been engaged several times, a few times, Okay, I've been asked to get married a few times, but I've never been married. So if my goal, and I'm not saying it is, this is again just an example. If my goal is to get married, then I cannot date someone who does not believe in marriage because it's not going to work. We have different, fundamentally different views on certain things. And guess what? You shouldn't have to convince people. That's why it's important when you're dating to ask the right questions. I want to get married. What are your views on marriage? What is your timeline on meeting, courting, dating, engagement, and marriage? What does that look like to you? I don't mean you have to marry me, but I want to know what your views are in those things. You see what I'm saying? That's what this is talking about. Let's take a look at your next card, and then of course we're going to close these readings. You have the gift, the love language of gift giving. Okay. Make sure that when you are in your next connection, or when you're I was say learning someone, when you are getting to know someone, okay, you are getting to know them as a friend. That's why the dog is here. You're getting to know them as a friend, as a companion. You don't jump into, oh my God, I'm in love, I'm going to marry them. No, get to know them as a friend. Because time is going to be important for you to build slowly. Because there are things that sometimes people don't share. And when you have a person who has a lot going on in the behind the scenes, okay, then you need to take a look and say, is it a one-time occurrence or is it a pattern? That's why it's very important, intuitive friends, to ask how every relationship ended when you're getting to know someone. Because people have a tendency to have patterns in what they do. And some people get into the same pattern over and over and over again. So if there's for example, and this is just an example, if there's a person who tends to just live with other people and not have their own apartment or own house, guaranteed, okay, guaranteed, they've been in connections where they don't have their own place. They're always living with somebody else. They're always living with, a partner, or they're living with this or living with that. They don't have their own. They got to lean on somebody else's stability. Okay? So those are the things that you want to see. What is this person's core value? Okay? What do they offer? What do they bring to the table in regards to stability and consistency? Okay? Let's take a look at your last and final card here, and that is the Oracle deck. Now, listen, my sun sign is Taurus. Okay, my moon sign is Pisces. As a Taurus, and it's so funny because I had this conversation literally on a live yesterday, where I said, those of you who want to date a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, the Earth signs, you need to have your act together. You need to have, your life needs to be like, needs to be no loose ends, because Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn are not about babysitting you. Okay? And if you were in a position where a Taurus was super overgiving to you to help you, and you decided to walk away from that Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you're going to regret it. Because Earth signs are very devoted and very, giving in that regard. Last and final, trust your gut, which validation confirmation came through your reading at the top of the reading with the third chakra. If I were you, I would work on my solar plexus energy. I would work on my 7 chakras, but I would give extra attention to my solar plexus. Okay? Trust your gut. Your gut is not going to guide you in the wrong direction. It says when it comes to intuition, you have the strong gut feelings I said that at the top of the reading. I said it multiple times, once with the rest and rejuvenation. I said it again with the third chakra, which is about your solar plexus, but also about your gut level feeling. I also said it here with the goddess of the moon. So you're a very intuitive person. You could also be a person who's very giving. Okay, you're a person who, you really stick by your guns. You won't leave the situation no matter how bad it is. But this is talking about you need to really restructure the way that you've been moving in regards to your love life. This says, deep down inside, you surely know what's next. So there you go. I've given you the tools, the resources, all free on my channel. As I said, the energy healing and energy affirmations playlist. There's lots of free things there. You have the 7 chakras where you can continue to align yourself. You also have the energy healing and affirmation, the nighttime affirmation in my energy healing affirmations playlist, as well as the divine counterpart affirmations. That's all I have here for you. Thank you so much, Nino, for your love, loyalty, and support. And let's see what you wrote. You wrote here, I thought I met the right one, but he started other relationship with a divorced woman with 2 kids. Well, guess what? You benefited, right? Imagine having been with a person who was going to cheat on you or leave you or abandon you. Be happy this happened when you were talking to them, and be happy that this person left, because obviously that person wasn't committed to you. Okay? I've never been married, don't want a man who has a family. So guess what? Don't look for a man who has a family. Look for someone who doesn't. Okay? You don't want someone with kids? Don't look for someone with kids. Limit your range. Limit the net. Some of you need to widen your net, and others you need to, be specific. Okay? I don't want their problems in my life. You have no idea how 100% you are on that. Very much on that. Okay? Now, I want to vouch for people who, like myself, who have kids, who have a life, and we have our things settled. There aren't any problems. There are people out there who have kids, who are single, and who have their ducks lined up in a row. There are people who've got it all together. But there are people who don't and who won't, right? So you gotta be, you gotta look at things from different aspects and different circles here, right? It says, I'm a Taurus. Oh, well, congratulations. I'm a Taurus too. So there you go. So you understood what the examples I was talking about. There you go. Intuitive friends, enjoy the rest of your day. Universal Butterfly, thank you so much for your love, loyalty, and support. And I'll see all of you next time. Take care, Nino. Thank you for your super and for being here in this live. Take care, and I'll see you soon.